Hello, everybody. This is Dr. White with a little tutorial on how to read the Hugo in Action book in the most effective way, employing all of your tools, including not only the book, but Git and GitHub and your code editor. So here I am on the Manning Publication site. Having purchased the book, I had to create an account, and I've signed into my account at manning.com, www.manning.com. And I see a key here that says a button that says all products. I push it, and I'm going to be brought to a page, I assume. No, actually, I just want my project, my products. So, the live book. No. Tell you what, I'll just search for Hugo in Action. There it is. Come to the page, and let's see if I can read the book. I just want to read the book now. Dashboard? Ah, okay. Let me go to my dashboard. It's taking its sweet time. Yep, there we go. So this is where I wanted to get my dashboard. And I get a list of all the books I've purchased from Hugo, from Manning in the past, and here's Hugo in Action, and I ask for the live book. And don't mind the noises in the background. That's my dog playing around. You may hear him barking soon. Okay, when you get the live book, it's going to pop up to like wherever you were last reading it on this computer. And so here I am in section 4.4. I can get a table of contents. And let me just go to some place, like how about the beginning of section 4.6, and I get a discussion of short codes in Hugo. And maybe I get interested in seeing like what is the state of the website that the author is building up in Hugo as part of this book. What's the repository as he's actually talking about it at this place where he's beginning to use short codes. So this is where you head to the GitHub repository associated with the book, and that's pointed to in the description of the book in Manning.com. But it's github.com, Hugo in Action, github.com/Hugo in Action/Hugo in Action. And you come to this repository, which looks like it's awfully small. It just has readme.md, but that's just the master branch. If you click here, you see there's a whole bunch of other branches, And in fact, there's 97 of them in all, as you can see over here. And you could actually click on a particular branch that you're interested in. Like, I don't know, maybe the 04-10. And when you do that, then you'll actually get to look at the repository associated with that branch. And in fact, that's the branch I'm interested in, because if you look at the let me head back to the master branch here. If you look at the README, then the bit about short codes at the beginning of chapter 4, section 6 here, 4.6.1, that's associated with the branch ch04-10. So switching to that branch lets me look at the repository at that moment. In fact, you can see commits that have to do with adding some shortcode to make a divider in one of the pages. And so you could look and see under layouts, you could look under shortcodes, and you could actually like see what was the code to write that divider that was being used. And so that's all very nice. You can come back to the root of that branch. And I'll just go ahead and switch back to master at this point. So you could look at all the code that way, but there's even more that you could do. So to do that, bring in you want to actually bring this repository down to your computer. So head to head to a terminal and get into make the Active Directory wherever you store your repositories. Mine here is Git. I'm already there, and I'm going to clone this repository. Well, if I'm going to clone it, then I want to copy this little clone address, and then get back to my terminal and say git clone and paste in, and clone we will. It'll take a moment. It's a big repository, so it's receiving a lot of objects. Great, it's done. Okay, I'll minimize that terminal, and I'll open up a Visual Studio Code, and it'll tend to open up at whatever project you were last working on. So I'm going to go File, Close Folder, and then File, and then I want to open a folder. So actually, my favorite way is to go to Open Folder here in blue, and I'll search around. Let's see, it starts in my Git directory, so I'll just look around for Hugo in action that I just cloned down. There it is, and I'll open that, and go ahead and set myself up a terminal down here at the bottom. And I could open a file, but it's not very exciting to open readme.md. Instead, what I'll do is I'll just, when I pulled down this repository, it pulled down the master branch and all those other branches. So I'll just check out the branch I was interested in. And remember, it was ch04-10. So I'm going to say git check out ch04-10. Here we go. It switches to a new branch, and notice how the entire file structure here changed to be the exact state of the repository on that branch. And now I can, open files that I like and look at them so I could go to layouts, shortcodes, divider.html, and if I want it to kind of stick up here, I can just double click it. And then when it's no longer italicized, it will stay there. If I want to see other files, like maybe I want to see the index.md and the about, I could double click on that and it'll get up there and stay there. And so, I can look around at the repository and I can edit these files, to see what effect my own changes might have on things. So, for example, I could go to divider.html and I could actually make some changes. But first, let me see what the repository looks like at this point. Like what kind of website would it produce? So, tell you what, I'll split this terminal. So I went here to split the terminal, and in the second terminal, I'm just going to say Hugo serve. And now I can go and look at localhost 1313 to see what the website looks like at this point. So new tab, localhost 1313, Acme Corporation. And, I can play around. And if one is actually reading the textbook to this point, one learns that that divider shortcode is what was used to make these nice little dividers between the sections that have the smiley faces. Okay. So, and so, if you're studying along in the book, you might be interested in more about like, how does this divider actually, how is it doing its work? And it looks like it's creating a little span that has special little colors, like this color here. And maybe, maybe I'd like to try, like, to see what would it be like to have like a green color. Let's see, do I have the right number of quotes? I think I got it right. No, need another quote. And I'm saving my changes. And there's something wrong in my syntax, because when I save that change, you can see that the server tried to rebuild and it found it got failed to render shortcode divider, failed to process shortcode, yada yada. And it seems like there's two quotes there. And so let me move forward, pull one of them back, save. I seem to be having trouble like actually completing the editing. I seem to be having trouble making. What if I just said green? Oh, there we go. That's what we want. Ooh, how about green yellow? And save that. And we still seem to have a little bit of, oh, I need a quote at the end of that to close off the style. And there we go. Finally, I got the right syntax. So I managed to change the color to green yellow. I should probably be wearing my glasses and make the code like bigger, which I can do with Control Plus, and that wouldn't have been so awful a process. Control Plus on the Windows and Command Mac on a Mac, Command Plus on a Mac. Similarly, Control minus and Command minus can change the size of the code for you. Alrighty. So let's head back to the website, and you can see that, sure enough, the colors have changed a little bit on the dividers. It just doesn't look as nice. But the idea is you can make changes like that and experiment to see the effect of things. And once you've done that, you might want to just go back, say git checkout dot, and that'll undo the changes and see you're back to that original color. And then you can move on, and read on in the book. And then, when you're ready to play around with code again, you can say git checkout for the next branch, and study what happened there. And as you keep doing this, these the Hugo serve detects the changes in your file structure and re-renders the site up at localhost, and you can continue to play around and see the effect of the changes that are described in the book. So that is my little tutorial on how to make the best use of Hugo in action. Hope you have fun with that. See you later.